Hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Blatant Interference Wrestling. We are back, and we haven't been back for very long, but almost 100 views on one of our videos, so that's awesome, and I thank everybody for the support. A lot of channels out there talking shit on each other and can't break 1,000 subs or 100 views, so we must be doing something right. We're going to move on from all the nonsense, and we're going to review WrestleMania, because I previewed WrestleMania, so I might as well review it. And here we go. LA Knight, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso defeated IShowSpeed, the YouTuber, and the World Tag Team Champions Logan Paul, the YouTuber, and Austin Theory. Now, to be fair, Logan Paul, not a big fan of him as a person, but definitely has the skills in the ring, beyond the basic skills to carry a match off or pull a match off, and definitely the promo skills. And I'm a little bit hot cold on Austin Theory. I haven't really made a final decision on him, but he does have a lot of potential. Anyways, IShowSpeed turned face by the end of this and was yeeting with LA Knight and the Usos afterwards, but not really going to be relevant beyond WrestleMania. I don't think he's going to show up again anytime soon. Jacob Fatu defeated Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match, and that had ramifications yesterday on Monday Night Raw, but we won't get into that because we'll be getting too far ahead. But Jacob Fatu trying to insert himself in the world title picture, but we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. Not a bad match. Probably one of the better ones on the Saturday night WrestleMania portion of WrestleMania Vegas, WrestleMania 42, whatever you want to call it. Saturday was all in all horrible, and then Sunday was a lot better in comparison. Anyways, the Bellas were supposed to be taking on Nia Jax and Lash Legend, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. All of these teams that are kind of like just stuck together semi-randomly. But anyhow, Paige returning and stepping in for the injured Nikki Bella. So the rumor was that if Nikki Bella was not available in time, they were going to insert Io Sky and Kairi Sane into this match. Probably deserved it a little bit more than the Bellas or Brie Bella and Paige, but definitely a shocking win. So Paige and Brie Bella taking the women's tag team titles, and we'll see where they go. I was thinking maybe once Nikki Bella is not injured anymore, they're probably going to consider a Freebird rule where anybody can defend the women's tag team champions, any three of them, but we'll see where it goes. I can see Paige turning on them, or them turning on Paige at some point also. Something like that. Becky Lynch defeated AJ Lee to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So here's what I'll say about this. Another good match between the two of them for the most part. Kind of short. All the matches on Saturday were fairly short and full. The night was full of ads. A lot of people bitching and complaining about the amount of match time versus the amount of ad time, and they wouldn't be wrong. I couldn't imagine paying thousands of dollars for tickets and then getting the show that you got this year would be absolutely terrible. But that's a whole other side subject that I may get into on this channel at another time. But anyways, Becky Lynch taking back the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I think that makes her a 3-time Intercontinental Champion, which is crazy. Women's Intercontinental Champion. I think that's important. So I'm not surprised by this. I'm not sure what I said on my preview. I'm not sure. But honestly, I think I called this one correctly. But if you think about it, AJ Lee is not sticking around week after week. She's not going to be there week after week. Now, if she was, it would be a little bit different. And obviously her husband, CM Punk, is around almost week after week. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be or that she wants to be. So what I suspect is that we won't see AJ Lee for a little bit, and maybe not even until SummerSlam. Then again, they could have another match at Backlash, but I feel like we've gotten 1 or 2 or 3 matches now between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Probably time to move on. Who's going to come? There's lots of contenders that they can put up against Becky, and down the road now, Paige is another one that we may see challenge Becky Lynch. Gunther defeated Seth Rollins. Obviously, this match was thrown together very quickly within the last 2 or 3 weeks before WrestleMania, all based on the fact that Seth Rollins was back from injury and ready for a match. Gunther didn't have anything to do. Braun Breaker was supposed to face Seth Rollins. He got injured. A lot of the Vision got injured. I'm trying to remember his name. Bronson Reed also injured, so lots of problems going into WrestleMania with the Vision. But Gunther with a win over Seth Rollins. The thing with Gunther defeating Seth Rollins was Gunther needed help to defeat Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker getting involved. At one point, Seth Rollins did have the win. So I expected Gunther to win, and I expected Seth Rollins to be protected. So no surprise there, really. Liv Morgan defeated Stephanie McCur to win the Women's World Championship. That's not really much of a surprise there either. Nothing really against Stephanie McCur, but the fact that she's already been Women's World Champion, to me, just devalues that title. Like, she's been around for... she was in NXT for quite a while, but she's been on the main roster for like a cup of coffee, already the women's champion, already losing the women's championship. Half the time that she was walking around with one of the women's world titles, which I don't like the fact that there's 2 world titles in any situation, but like, she was walking around with the women's world title, and I kept thinking she was like, had one of the mid-card titles, like the women's IC or US title. Too many titles in general, but not surprised that Liv Morgan defeated Stephanie McCur. I don't think Stephanie McCur was ready to be the champion of the women's champion of the world and carry that weight and kind of like have the whole brand on her shoulders. I'm not like a huge Liv Morgan fan. I don't think she has any special qualities to her, but obviously they want to give her a giant push. They've created this whole new song for her. It was like kind of like a Temu Britney Spears thing going on that she had at WrestleMania, this lip sync performance, and like they're trying to make her seem like this big thing that's gonna launch into a crossover music career. I highly doubt that. But Liv Morgan with her Oblivion move wins the title. Cody Rhodes, of course, defeated Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in his Randy Orton's corner. Cody retaining the WWE Championship. Absolutely awful. I feel like the whole first night, Saturday, was a cash grab. I feel like Cody Rhodes may end up facing off against Randy Orton again at Backlash, and then I expect Randy Orton to go over there and end this madness. I've never really understood Cody Rhodes as a babyface. You have a guy coming out, bleached blonde hair. I know he's trying to do whatever like his father and his brother, who he can't hold a candle to, by the way. Cody Rhodes cannot hold a candle to Dusty Rhodes or Dustin Rhodes, aka Goldust. Absolutely not. I don't want to be like hating on Cody. I think he's like got skill. I just think there's a ceiling to Cody, and I think if everybody was really being honest, like I think if he wasn't Triple H's boy, because he is right now. Like Triple H literally said, "Oh, if we lose Cody Rhodes, there's not another quarterback to replace him," which I definitely disagree with. I don't think Cody's the be-all, end-all, or the best guy to even go with. I get that the kids like him, that he sells a lot of merch, so he's basically becoming the new John Cena type shit. But in the long term, I don't know if like having such a nerdy, pretentious dude as your poster child is a great idea. So the thing about Cody is like, at least make him a heel. What babyface has ever come out acting like that, wearing these like expensive suits, acting like holier than thou type shit, and then you're gonna say that Cody Rhodes is I don't know. Anyways, I just think it's time to move away from Cody Rhodes. There's a lot of people that like Cody Rhodes. I understand that, especially the kids. I understand that. He finished his story though. He's won the title a few times. Even the people that supported him and were behind him, they're saying this is getting stale. We're over it. It's like Hulk Hogan in 1990, whatever. It was just time to move on to something new, try something else. It's stale. And there's so many people to put the title on. I would give Randy Orton his 15th title or whatever it is. I'm not going to get too into this, but obviously on Monday Night Raw, Jacob Fatu challenged Roman Reigns for that title, and then you had CM Punk, who just lost his one world title. Now he wants a shot at the WWE title against Cody. That was really messy on Monday Night Raw. Like, what the heck's going on? Since when can you just jump from one world title to the other world title picture? Then what's the point of having a split roster? I've always said that since the very beginning of splitting the roster. What's the point of that if you're just going to have people jump back and forth on both shows. We don't need 2 world titles. We don't need a split roster. We need to get back to one roster and all that. I'm going to review night 2 in a second video, because this already is 10 minutes and that's enough for now. So we'll be back with review of night 2 and a little bit of talk about Monday Night Raw. Not going to do this all the time necessarily. We're going to just get into some random topics, more just different wrestling stuff, but the granddaddy of them all, we're going to review it. So we'll be back with the rest of a review on WrestleMania.